ladies, are you depressed? If you are, we have good news for you, because a new study has proven that men are in fact as depressed as women, which goes against almost everything that psychologists have believed up until now. A new study from the University of Michigan and Vanderbilt University has come out, and it overturns long accepted statistics that over their lifetime, women are 70% more likely to have major depression than men. We've got some numbers to show you. So this was assessed on the Gender Inclusive Depression Scale. 30.6% of men and 33.3% of women experienced a depressive episode in some point of their lives. Now, that's not a huge difference. One of the things that the researchers did was they expanded the list of things that qualify as depression, which then included aggression, substance abuse, risk-taking behavior. So not all of those things are normally associated with depression per se, but so by widening it, maybe they made the difference a little smaller.
Well, what's interesting about this is that, for decades, much of medical research was based on men, because men were sort of easier to study. Women had, additional menstrual problems and all that. And it's like, oh, well, we have all these issues as well with gender bias in medical research as well, that women are just too difficult. But now, seriously, this happened. But now, this particular study, they chose to widen out the idea of what constitutes a symptom of depression. Instead of it being these, listless feelings of worthlessness and all that, by expanding it to aggression and other forms of self-destructive behavior that are more outgoing. I thought that was a fascinating shift in the way that they approach depression.
Right, so normally the things that they associate with depression are things like difficulty sleeping, feelings of guilt or worthlessness, which somehow that is something that perhaps women feel more. Now you add this in, and you've
expanded the number of people who would actually qualify. And that's the whole point of this, is it's part of a questionnaire to help people assess for themselves whether or not they might actually have a major depression and should seek help for that. Yeah. So if it helps more men, and if more men really are depressed, and if it helps them to get medical treatment, then by all means, this is good.
Yeah. I just think it's funny that people aren't sure that they are in a major depression. I've been in major depressions, you are sure you're in a major depression. So if you're not sure, I'm not sure how major it is.
Well, maybe you're more in touch with your feminine side,
yeah,
so it's easier for you to... No, I think that it's interesting, and what you're saying
That's not nice, John. That's not nice at all.
If this helps men, I think that it's a good thing.
I have feelings like a human being.
I know, your feelings just are more like feminine feelings, that's all.
Maybe they're gender neutral.
Yeah. But I do think, though, that when you expand the list in I don't think it's a fairly small way, this is a pretty substantive way, including like aggression and things like that, it might be that those are sort of the outgrowths of depression, but you are, I think, describing a bigger thing. You're not really just describing traditional depression. And so I think that keeping the same term is the problem that I have with it. Is it still just calling it depression when really it looks like you're describing something larger that, I mean, look, if men react in an aggressive way, it's possible that women also in some cases react in that way. And maybe what you're describing is actually something different.
Yeah, I actually didn't know until I read this study that men were thought of having less depression than women. I actually would have thought it was the reverse. Wouldn't you have thought?
No, actually, I had known that the incidence of depression just overall was believed to be higher in women in general. But then women are also more likely to seek treatment. Men are more likely to feel ashamed or not willing to admit or even go see the doctor in the first place.
Or probably self-medicate and all kinds of things.
Drink and shut it down, just deny their emotions, and this isn't what's happening. And
so it's a cultural shift potentially as well.
Yeah. I did notice another thing that they list as a sign of depression in men is working a lot, which I thought was interesting. I was like, maybe I should seek help.
Overworking can cause depression.
Maybe some people just like their job.